Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar for the SUGCON Europe 2025 recap. Here with me is Wukash, the man, the MVP and the Sitecore SUGCON EU organizer and everything and such. So
Hey
Wukash,
everyone.
how was the SUGCON for you?
Intense as always. It's not only like a place where we can meet with the other community members or learn. For me, it's also a place where I actually do some work, right? As you mentioned, one of the organizers. So no time to rest really.
Yeah, I can totally see that. But what about the venue though? So it was in Antwerp, Belgium. It was a great venue. I loved how high the ceilings were. I loved the whale skeleton. I loved the zoo was right there. The weather was perfect. What did you think of the venue this time?
Yeah, we as one of the organizers, I can shed some light on it, and we had some doubts, because this is like museum, right?
Yep.
Like the skeletons under the sailing, and at the same time we have C-level executives from Sitecore speaking about cutting edge technology, everything what is new AI and so on. So doubts, but as you said, the feedback was really good. People were happy, and when people are happy, we also happy. So can't complain. And yeah, personally, I also really like the place. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. It was really, really good. And then I know they jumped in. So the keynote was done by the three guys, but they jumped in immediately with AI. They've got into it saying Stream isn't a product; it's a capability, right? So it's available. It would be available for every single product inside of what Sitecore offers. And he got into that part. What were your views on AI?
Yep, I mean, I agree with what you said, right? They've mentioned that AI is basically everywhere right now. I think that during the symposium last year, they were saying that they're adding AI.
Yeah,
Right now, AI is there already. And yeah, we later on during one of the sessions, I think Martin Lundberg was actually presenting AI in all of the Sitecore tools, right? So it's not only a promise anymore. Sitecore executed those promises, and right now we can play and see AI capabilities everywhere.
yeah. They were talking about the AI being everywhere, brand aware AI. So now you can add multiple brands, and I think um, Vignesh presented right after the keynote as well. So he showed a demo of AI in the XP, which is available right now, the free version. So anyone who has XP, you can actually talk to your rep. You would need to get the access to the cloud portal and things like that, but you can add the free version into your XPXM instance at this moment in time. So reach out to your peeps. And then they talked about brand aware AI. They talked about AI agents, so basically embedded assistants across all of the products where it'll help you create content, do a couple of other things. They talked about workflows, where marketers can use those workflows and do a bunch of things. So it was a lot of talk of AI. The demo was really, really good by Vignesh. He also shared a whole bunch of like different things, like different phases that they're adding. And this was Vignesh's talk was very specific to XMXP, which is all of the the all-in-one DXP kind of thing. But he shared about the roadmap, what's coming right now, what's in the future, things like that. So that was really, really nice. So some of the things just to note is they're talking about language translation with AI, being able to audit your content, whether it's SEO, accessibility, brand compliance, being able to create automatic image alt text, being able to generate components in the future and long term. He was talking about basically personalization suggestions, A/B testing, even able to generate images, which was really, really cool. And I love XP a lot. So it was nice to see all of those things.
Yeah, I agree, but you just mentioned almost everything what we had to say, on
What?
the first
I
slide.
only talked about
Just
the XP stuff. I didn't talk about all the other things.
yeah, just kidding. Yeah, but that was a long list, right? Everything was true what you said basically. But I think we can move forward to the next slides, and then we just cover some of the topics and bring more details, right? Um, yeah, so CMS, from CMS to intelligent DXP. So that's something that also was mentioned during symposium. So this is a new term that Sitecore came up with, and I think that it makes sense, right? Because on a slide you can even see the mentioned orchestration with AI, which actually helps you to use your DXP platform to make use of all of the features that are there. So if you have XP or maybe even XM with some composable other pieces, then thanks to that orchestration supported with AI, it will be easier for you to use all of that. So you will not end up as the customers years ago with XP, where they were buying XP and part of the features were just laying down there, not used anywhere, everywhere at all, right? Basically. So yeah, that's I think a good direction and good change, and it also shows how Sitecore is actually leading the market and yeah, building a new value, new quality.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. They even talked about how they're rolling out automatic updates to XM Cloud. A lot of technical things like being able to support multiple frameworks, their marketing dashboards, AI personalization, things like that. But this is what they kept on mentioning. It's the intelligent DXP. It's an infinite loop between content, AI, and experience, and they're trying to integrate it every single place they can, which is awesome. They talked about, I think, semantic search, AI-powered asset discovery in the dam, things like that. So there's a lot of contextual things that they're trying to help marketers and content authors with, which would be really interesting. So I'm hoping to play with all of this. It would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Next is the best part, which is the continued commitment to XMN XP. So I'll let you talk so that I don't steal all your points, Wukash.
Oh, thank you. Actually, it's so kind. Uh, I mean, yeah, that's again something that Psycho promised. So they completely change the way they communicate existence of XMXP. So it is still a platform that will stay with us for a really long time. From what I remember, at least next 10 years, right? That was the date from this that was presented during the symposium. And during the SUGCON, they actually proved that it is true, right? So these are not just words that XMXP will stay. They are proving by their actions that it's something that matters. So we can see that by adding new modules or integrating Stream that you mentioned already, right? And
Yeah.
or even during the SACON, we had multiple very interesting discussions with SACO people, with other committee members that all of them were saying that there are some gossips maybe that XMXP will be rewritten on a new technology stack. So it's yeah, I can't really wait to see that in like live at some point probably. Besides that, yeah, 10.5, right? Gonna
Yep.
be released soon. So again, another proof that MXP are staying for longer.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think Roger talked about keeping the promise, like you mentioned. They kept the promise. XMXP, the stream, 10.5 with performance improvements, AI integration, and being able to have compatibility between hybrid and composable architectures. Again, XM Cloud might not be the answer for every single person. There are cases where XM XP are still very useful, closed networks, a specific geolocation, or any regulatory things. So a lot of the customers we currently service still use XP. They're in like the medical, pharma, government kind of space. So I totally understand that part. They talked about AI and XMXP. They did mention that they are committed towards XM and XP, which is really, really nice. So yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. And with 10.5, that would be awesome.
Yep.
Cool. I talked a bit too much about this, but we can talk a little bit. I'll let you go, Wukash, first before I start.
Oh, yeah, you said almost everything about it,
Everything.
right?
No,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean it's
it's
cool. It's
it's there.
exciting to me. So sorry I got excited.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not like I understand you, right? Why? That was a first session on Friday, if I remember that correctly, and we had like a full room of people. That it doesn't happen too often
Yeah.
on Friday morning. So it shows interest of people in the topic, and Vignesh really presented how it already or how does it work right now. So what you can get we thanks to Sitecore Stream inside your XM platform. Yeah, he also mentioned that I will repeat after you actually that it is right now available for free in freemium like model. So it's limited. Not I think brand awareness is not part of the free Sitecore Stream, but some AI capabilities are there. So you need to contact your account manager from Sitecore to get the details. Personally, I think that even if you don't use that or you just decide to play with it on your lower environments like dev or whatever, then it might be a good onboarding exercise because you're gonna have access to new platforms or to the portals that are required to play with a new cycle tool. So yeah, it's worth to do that step and see what is there.
Yeah, I mean, he showed the demo, right, which was really nice. So being able to add multiple brands, being able to choose the brand that you want the content to be generated for, multiple variations of the content. Talked about how they've from the last version to this version of the module, how they've streamlined the whole configuration of it, rather than it being more difficult. It's a lot more easier now. He walked through the process because he was getting a lot of questions, and it seemed like they're taking quite a bit of feedback as they're doing it. So it just felt it was exciting. I'm glad I attended that session. Cool. The next one, another big one that actually wait here. I skipped the wrong one. A big one that they talked about was developer experience, and Danny, the Sitecore CTO, as well as pretty much every Sitecore presenter at the conference touched on the developer experience at one point or the other. So this was the big ticket item, one of them that they talked about quite a bit. Did you have anything on this one, Vukash, before I steal everything?
Uh, Feel free to steal whatever you want.
Yeah, no worries. So they talked about developer experience, right? How things can be easier. So the SDKs, so the marketplace SDKs, the content SDKs. They talked about how they're trying to make it simpler and easier for the developers. They talked about the developer CLI. They talked about splitting the front and back end deployment to XM Cloud, including the new SDKs with the new JSS version. How they are focusing on how do we make the developers' life easier, whether it was for JSS, whether it was for Marketplace SDK or the Content SDK. They're trying to do their job, make it much, much easier. So that was kind of nice that they wove all of that into it. One of the other big pieces was the Sitecore marketplace. And this was interesting because I was personally waiting, and I'll stop speaking because I don't want to steal Wukash's points. I was waiting because I've been working with Justin just to kind of figure out what the steps are. And he's like, okay, we got everything, and we'll be presenting at SUGCON. So that was nice. For me, it was I'm trying to take Sitecore from like an XP XM module to like an XM Cloud module, which is a huge difference in architecture because it's more composable. So for me, this was a huge thing attending Liz and Spiros, I think is a session I attended, which kind of gave an overview. And then there was a deeper dive later on Friday from Justin. So I'll stop talking because if I talk, I'll cover the whole thing.
Yeah, so I will just add a few points and then let you finish it. So yeah, from the important notes, probably something like, I mean, we should mention about the fact that it is available for some partners already. So Sitecore is moving forward really quickly with that site marketplace. They see that there is need for it. I can't remember right now if they mentioned any dates about making that publicly available. Probably not, but the fact that there are partners that building some extensions gives us a hope that it's gonna be probably sooner than later. So that's great news from my perspective. And I think that Sitecore community also looks at it in the same way, because that was one of the topics when we had the biggest number of questions from the audience, right? So it shows a huge interest in the topic, and I think that it may connect community or bring back community to work together. The only challenge that I see is the fact that it is designed for XM Cloud, which means it's SaaS basically, right? And you need to host your extensions on your own server or your own environment. So if we go back to the times of XMXP, you could have a extension that is in marketplace. You can download it, install it for free. Right now, I'm not entirely sure if community will find a way to support others with SaaS extensions available for free. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna happen. Maybe someone will find a way, or maybe Sitecore will provide some resources to let people grow with it. I don't know.
Or maybe
I'm
we
just
will get
curious.
Wukash's credit card and we can all spin up app services in Azure.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Probably not anytime soon, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that was interesting because the whole architecture shift, right? So what Wukash is talking about is they'll provide a marketplace SDK. What the SDK will do is help you write the app, which conforms to more of the XM Cloud architecture. It'll give you the UI guidance because you need some UI inside of XM Cloud, either whether it's iframed or embedded in, and then how the UI looks has to be similar to how XM Cloud looks. So it'll give you guidance on that, being able to communicate back and forth with the management API, things like that. But the major part of your app will live in a third-party hosted environment, which is actually going to run all of it because Sitecore is technically not responsible for it. So you could have a public app, which is what Wukash is talking about. Then if I'm the app developer, the cost goes to me, unless I have a friend like Wukash. You could also do like private app or apps which are specific to customers. So technically, it could be hosted in the customer environment, not available publicly. So they talked about that. Like Wukash mentioned, a couple of partners, I believe, who are part of the initial rollout are part of developing some of these apps. And when they do launch it, it's not going to be empty. It's going to have a few apps in it. So they showed a demo of, I think it was called something optimization, where it looks at like the page structure and gives you a score, and then you can click on it and it'll give you like the things that it was for AI LLMs to crawl your site, basically something like that. And it gave you a score, and then you can check at what you can do to improve the score. So they showed a demo of that. But overall, it was kind of very interesting. And then there was that later on in the session, they talked quite a bit about marketplace, from everything from what kind of apps to how do you register, how do the apps look. I was able to look at that, like the how it looks in the cloud portal. It is page based, things like that. So they went into a lot more technical part of it, what the current SDK provides, authentication, what would it provide in the future, things like that. So that was kind of interesting that they were rolling out this whole marketplace, and Wukash touched on it, but I want to kind of mention it. So before, we used to have kind of a marketplace that you could have your open source app, right, either on GitHub or whatever it is, and basically you downloaded it or installed it using a NuGet package, and then you would use it and you would own that because it would run on your instance. So it'll be interesting. I'm kind of curious to see which ones are going to be free and how they can sustain, or you can depend on it, or maybe it's free but you have to host it yourself and maybe configure it. I'm not sure, but that'll be kind of interesting, I think.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is pricing. There was a session on pricing, but what we wanted to cover is basically Sitecore seemed very competitive in terms of how they price their products. So, I mean, a couple of the things that we're working with them right now, they're extremely competitive compared to other hybrid CMSs out there. And that was kind of interesting for us to be able to pitch Sitecore and for them to be ultra competitive. So we do wanted to mention that part. Wukash, did you have anything on this one?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it's like showing a change in Sitecore attitude, because I think that that was the first time when Sitecore addressed topic of pricing publicly. So before that, if you were MVP or partner, you could have some discussions here and there, right? But that was a public event. So if you had a SUGCON ticket, you could hear about it. You could ask questions. So that's it shows the change. And as you mentioned, the pricing itself, yeah, it's much more flexible right now. Sitecore is more keen to, yeah, find a way to make it happen, right? So that's really nice outcome of that of the presentation that we saw there.
For sure. And then they teased about a major announcement coming on June 4th.
Yeah.
I don't know what it will include personally. I mean, they mentioned it'll include like marketing and AI innovations, but they did say wait for June 4th. There's going to be a huge announcement. So I'm not sure what it is, but June 4th thankfully isn't that far away, so I don't mind waiting for it. Did you get
Yeah.
any inside scoop, Wukash, from your end?
I have no idea what it's gonna be, right? And yeah, I know, maybe expect something to be presented during the symposium or SUGCON in Australia, right? But
Yeah,
no, it's gonna be before that, so I can wait to see what they cooking there.
yeah, no, for sure. And then we had the hackathon awards on Thursday evening. So again, congratulations to Gabriel for the Sitecore Punk 2077. It was a really good module. So if anyone, we'll post some socials on what the module is. Hopefully, get Gabe on, and he can probably give a demo. But what it was is something that you can use right now. It was a natural language way of talking to SPE and generating reports. And it was something that can be used at this moment, was done really, really well, super useful. Uh, Unfortunately, Gabe wasn't there at SUGCON, but I did mail him the award a couple of days ago. So hopefully he'll get it. I think he's based near the Chicago area. So hopefully he'll get it and do some social posts. But it was a really good competition. We had 52 teams who participated in it. And again, hackathon is something that we run every year, runs for 24 hours, usually in March, and teams of 2 to 3 people compete on an idea that we give. This time, since there are so many products and it was kind of hard to figure out, we kind of came to with the judges and figured we'll just have one category of show us what you got, like show us what you can make in 24 hours, and we just let everyone loose. So as you can imagine, there were a lot of AI AI entries. So it was kind of interesting to weed through all of those, all the API keys, keep them alive, and test it out. But I thought it was a really good hackathon this year. Cool. And in closing, thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat so we can see them and answer them for you. We pushed out a few blogs, a few videos on the Konabos website, so you can take a look at those. They should also be on YouTube as well, so it'll be interesting if you want to catch up on that. SUGCON, they will release the videos. I think, imagine processing all of that video for that many hours of session. So they'll release the video on the official SUGCON YouTube channel when they're available. So that'll be kind of nice for you to take a look at it. If you have any questions about anything we talked about, again, don't feel free to reach out to us. And then again, yeah, glad to be of help and be sharing this information. Wukash, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.